If you're thinking about moving to Casper, Wyoming, the first thing to understand is this. Casper's not trying to win on big city entertainment. It wins on a different lifestyle entirely. This is a place where people move for space, outdoor access, a slower pace, and a chance to build a solid life without major metro pressure. For the right buyer, this is not a compromise. It's the whole point. So this video is not about talking you out of Casper. It's about helping you understand what Casper is actually great at, who tends to love it here, and what you should understand before buying a house or committing to the move. Let's get into it. First, Casper works best for people who want space, a slower pace, and a more self-directed lifestyle. If you like being a little more independent, if you don't need constant entertainment, and if you want a place where you can still build a solid life without the chaos of a major metro, Casper can make a lot of sense. But if you want a city that constantly entertains you, gives you endless shopping and dining, and keeps everything within a short drive, Casper's going to probably feel smaller than you'd expect. That's the first thing to understand. Casper's not trying to be Denver. It's not trying to be Fort Collins. And if you compare it to those places every day after you move here, you're probably not going to enjoy living here. But if what you really want is easier access to outdoors, less daily congestion, and a place that still feels grounded and livable, this is where Casper starts making a lot of sense. It is one of its biggest strengths. Casper is much more outdoor paradise than city entertainment play. That matters because buyers who do best here usually understand that early. Now let's talk about what people usually notice first: the weather. More specifically, the wind. A lot of people moving to Wyoming assume snow is the big story. Snow matters, but in daily life, wind is the thing that gets into everything. It affects how cold winter feels. It affects how comfortable certain neighborhoods feel. It affects driving. It affects how you experience a home, a lot, and even your yard. So if you're relocating to Casper, do not think about weather in a generic way. It's about exposure. It's about winter routine. Think about whether you're the type of person that can handle a place that sometimes asks more of you physically than a milder market would. That doesn't mean Casper is miserable. It means you need to be honest with yourself. Some people love the seasons here. Some people love the dramatic skies, the snow, the mountain access, and the fact that life feels more real and less manufactured. Other people get worn down by the unpredictability of the wind. The difference matters, and that connects directly to why a lot of people love Casper in the first place. If you want easier access to hiking, fishing, hunting, open space, and a more outdoors-oriented lifestyle without resort town pricing, Casper has a lot going for it. This is not a side benefit here. It's one of the main reasons people choose it. The next thing to understand is daily convenience. Casper has more amenities and a lot of out-of-state buyers would expect for a Wyoming city, but fewer than many people are used to if they are coming from larger markets. You can absolutely live a comfortable life here. You have the basics. You have shopping, you have restaurants, you have healthcare, you have schools, you have enough infrastructure to live well. But the trade-off is selection. You're not moving here for the endless options. You're moving here for a different lifestyle equation. Less congestion, less pressure, more space, more access to the outdoors, and usually a more manageable housing conversation than what buyers are facing in a more inflated market. What brings us is to cost. One of the biggest mistakes buyers make is hearing that Casper is affordable and stopping the analyst there. Casper can be more affordable than the market you're leaving, but affordability here is still specific. It depends on what part of town you choose. It depends on the age of the home. It depends on how much maintenance you're willing to take on. It depends on the commute, lot size, utility expectations, and how a home handles Wyoming conditions. So don't just ask whether Casper is cheaper. Ask what kind of life your budget buys here. That is why buyers need to connect their budget to the right part of town, not just the cheapest listing or the prettiest photos. Because in Casper, two homes at a similar price point can produce very different daily experiences. One might give you a simpler commute, better convenience, and less exposure. Another might give you more space, but more maintenance, more wind, and more lifestyle trade-offs. That is why neighborhood choice matters so much more. Casper is not one thing. Different parts of the area feel different. And if you're serious about moving here, you should not be searching for Casper in general. you should be searching for the right part of Casper for how you actually live. For example, some buyers want convenience, easier access to shopping, schools, and day-to-day errands. Some want newer homes. Some want more room and a quieter feel. Some want more established part of town. Some want to be near family-friendly areas. And some want to be just outside the main city pattern in places like Mills, Evansville, Bar None. Those are not interchangeable decisions. So if you're watching this and already thinking, okay, but where should I actually look? That is exactly the next question. You need to break down East Casper, West Casper, Mills, Evansville, and Bar None by lifestyle, convenience, and buyer fit. If you pick the wrong area, you can end up with a house that technically fits your budget, but doesn't fit your life. Another thing out-of-state buyers need to understand is travel. Casper does not have real airport access, and for a lot of buyers, this is a meaningful plus. You can get in and out of Casper without having to treat every trip like a major production. At the same time, you still don't think about it the same way you would think about airport access in a major metro. If frequent travel is a big part of your life, you just need to evaluate that honestly before you move. For some people, it's totally manageable. For others, it's simply an adjustment from what they're used to before. The same goes for regional distance in general. One reason people enjoy Wyoming is the space. One reason people struggle in Wyoming is also the space. If you need consistent access to bigger city events, bigger city variety, or a more dense regional experience, Casper can start to feel remote. If you like room, quiet, and a little more breathing room in your daily life, the same trait can feel a major strength. Now let's talk about people. This is where Casper either works for someone or it really doesn't. A lot of buyers do well here because they like the fact that people are more straightforward. They like that things feel a little less performative. They like that community feel. They like daily life can feel more grounded. But people who move here expecting the social rhythm of a bigger, more transient metro can feel off balance. Casper has its own culture, its own pace, its own expectations. And like any relocation move, the smoother your transition is, the more realistic your expectations were before you got here. And that is why most Casper regrets are not random. Usually come from a mismatched expectation, the wrong neighborhood, or underestimating what daily life here really feels like. So who tends to thrive in Casper? Usually people who want a steadier life, people who want outdoor access without resort town pricing, people who don't mind weather being part of the deal, people who are comfortable being a little more self-reliant, people who want a place where the community ownership and lifestyle fit still matter. And who tends to struggle? Usually buyers who chase the price without understanding the lifestyle, people who want big city convenience in a smaller market, people who underestimate winter, wind, and the difference between regional access and major metro access, and people who move here without getting clear on which neighborhood or surrounding area actually fits them. It's really the core message of this video. Casper is not hard to understand once you stop asking whether it's a good city in general and start asking whether it's a good fit for you specifically. That is the right question. And if you are in that stage right now and the next step is just browsing listings, the next step is narrowing down the type of Casper life you want. Do you want convenience? Do you want space? Do you want newer construction? Do you want an established neighborhood? Do you want easier daily errands? Do you want a family-focused setup? Once those answers get clear, the house search gets a lot smarter. And if you're moving with kids, that's another place where broad advice breaks down fast. If you're seriously considering a move to Casper and you want help figuring out where to start, reach out. I can help you break down neighborhoods, budget, lifestyle fit, and what makes the most sense based on how you actually live. If you have questions about Casper, drop them in the comments. If you want help planning to move, reach out directly. And if you're trying to decide whether Casper is the right fit, start with what Casper actually does well. That's how you'll make a better move.